Deci tu n-ai putea să trăiești într-o asemenea societate.
Nu, eu prima lucru, vreau să ăștia, vezi, nu începe ca în România, că pe vremea făceam toate lucrurile, zic că te împuși ăștia 3 secunde și plus că nu mi-a plăcut
Corect.
acolo, ți-am spus, e o chestie de, bă, așa e, săracii erau, Los Angeles, că mă gândeam în continuu, bă, cum poate să-i țină în halul ăla prin chestia asta, că le dă bani și asta. Și făcut inteligent, adică avea niște apartamente așa care nu avea intrare, dar intrai într-un resort. Ți-a trimis ăla?
Nu, nimic, mă tot uit. Mă gândesc că poate trimite de pe un număr...
Poate să intre de alt număr din Europa, să nu intre lui că dacă...
Nu, mă gândesc că l-ai fi trecut eu în memorie cumva și le tot deschid pe toate, îți dai seama. Dar nu mi-apare nimic.
Să scriți mare pe toată casa, Dan Diaconescu președinte,
da, să-i dea Dumnezeu sănătate, da.
Cu litere mari scrie, cu afiș mare.
Să-i dea, uite, ne trimit oamenii poze cu noi, pe ecran acum, toate pozele făcute.
Așa, acolo aveai foarte, așa, ca o sală mare, de să stai și ca să aveai terenul de tenis, piscine și astea, n-avea voie decât ăștia care stau în complex și invitații.
Da.
Și acolo, ca să mergi să discuți, îți dădeau șampanie și pișcoturi. Înțelegi, pe gratis. Ca să, uite, vreau să fac asta, da. Noi veneam în fiecare zi, când am stat acolo, beam 2-3 sticlă șampanie, mâncam pișcoturi, de la nu cea nimic, mă. Dom'le, cum e la piscină? Întrebam, dar cât mă costă să fac o petrecere? Și bă, la noi dacă veneai, a doua zi de la bă, dă-i mă, morții, mă, dic, nu faci nimic și bei șampanie. Nu știau nimic, mă, mâncați aia și gura ta, mă.
Da, e clar că au venit românii peste ei și au învățat multe șmechii.
Ca aia cu telefonul, mă, cum înțelegeam, cum să faci așa ceva, mă? Să dai din cartea telefonul nume și poți să vorbești. Acum nu mai cred că așa mare. Eu văd din...
Da. Între timp s-au tehnologizat și au pus camere de la... Dar eu știu ce am remarcat prima oară când am fost în America? Băi, era o corupție de asta în sensul că nu plăteai taxe. Adică la magazin zicea, dăm cash, nu taxe, nu TV, nu... Deci era ceva, știi, și ei ne certau pe noi. Ani mai târziu, mamă, voi aveți corupție în România? Păi, bă, voi... Deci aia eludau taxele acolo și impozitele la greu, adică...
Toată lumea.
Cât puteau, cum puteau, știi? Te băgam într-un colț în magazin și mi-am cumpărat eu o cameră de luat vedere și era, nu știu, $1000. Și ce dăm 700, pe zic, fără taxe, nu taxe, nu era. Era ceva hotărât să-și... Dar uite, cu toate astea sunt prima putere a planetei, nu așa să zici.
Sau care... Sunt oameni foarte deștepți care îi conduc. Ți-am spus și chestia asta, adică chiar dacă tu nu mai ai bani, te creditează banca și tu când îi faci tot sună sau ce faci?
Nu, a căzut microfonul de tot, frate. Bine, tu ca om de televiziune de 30
ceva. Am văzut că mi-a căzut.
Da. Păi nu ai prins-o.
Nu mai stă.
Păi ba da, cum nu stă?
Asta e că am prins firul ăla.
Ai prins tu greșit.
Gata, nu. Am prins firul ăla.
Gata, Doamne ajută. Realizatorii te incită să zici de ce nu știu cine ceva. Uite acolo. Vrei să faci. Dar nu. Vezi că zici? Dar ce vârstă are el, mă, față de tine? E mai mare?
Cu jumătate de an mai mare ca mine sau așa ceva.
E mai mare, da?
Da.
Da, mă, bine, nu face sport. Tu înțeleg că faci sport în fiecare zi, ce faci?
Da.
Dar ce, adică explicăm ce faci tu la sport în fiecare zi.
Bicicletă, abdomene, fiare.
Și câte abdomene faci?
Fac 900, dar din bucăți.
Pe bune?
Da.
Și bucăți la câte?
75 am un aparat așa, cu greutăți, mă țin în coate și ridic picioarele.
Tu ești ca Ronaldo, mă? Ronaldo, mă.
Tata Ronaldo, că Ronaldo face mai multe.
Știi, mă?
Ca Marin cum nasul, că ăla nu era așa pregătit la abdomene.
Deci faci 900 de abdomene.
Da, mă, cam 3 ore pe zi fac.
O oră pe zi?
Da, o oră și jumătate, dar ce am de făcut?
Și când mai bei?
Păi când mă trezesc din abdomene. Nu ți-a dat, nu i-a dat Michael Tache.
Nu știu ce face.
Dar să ne dea pe ăsta al tău, ia.
Dar nu mi-a dat asta. Uite, se poate trimite din state, un număr american. Uite,
care susține că sexual de minori. Dar, pentru milioane de oameni din întreaga lume, explică suficientă. Camere de supraveghere defecte, gardieni care nu și-au făcut rondul, un deținut extrem de important lăsat fără monitorizare. Toate aceste coincidențe au dus la o întrebare care s-a răspândit rapid în spațiul public. A fost moartea lui Epstein cu adevărat o sinucidere? Unii cred că a fost ucis pentru a nu vorbi. Alții cred că moartea ar fi fost înscenată. Dar cât adevăr este aici? Intrăm pe tărâmul conspirațiilor, unde doar voi puteți decide ce este realitate și ce este ficțiune. Pe 10 august 2019, Jeffrey Epstein a fost găsit mort în celula sa din Manhattan. Avea 66 de ani și era acuzat de trafic sexual de minori într-un caz care implicase deja nume importante din
goes. David, welcome back to the show. Great to see you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, have you noticed how whenever a scandal breaks, the official response is, oh yeah, but new checks and balances have been put into place and it can't happen again. It's
Right.
always the same story, but actually it is happening again because it's a fundamental part of how human society is controlled.
Well, can you explain that? Because I think if someone is averse to conspiracy theories, they think, well, that was just a one off. That was awful. I can't believe it happened. It can't still be happening. What is it? How do we know it's still happening? And why would they do this? I guess a big question is the pedophilia ring is just one part of other Heart of Darkness. Can you paint that picture for us?
Yeah, you see, to understand the resistance to what is going on is to understand that from cradle to grave, people are programmed to believe in a version of normal. Now, this normal may change, what they call the Overton window, the limits of public debate and considered real world. It may change, so we have a new normal, but there's always a normal. And that normal never encompasses the extremes of what's actually happening. And, you know, one of the greatest forms of mind control and perceptual limitation is to control the public's perception of the possible. There was a great quote from a guy called Arthur Schopenhauer, a German philosopher, who said words to the effect of every man, it's not actually every man, but it's getting there, every man basically views the world, the limits of the world, by the limits of his own field of vision. And that's what normality does. It gives people a certain view of what is happening, and therefore, when people come along and expose what is really happening beyond the normal, beyond the walls of normal, then they're immediately mad, bad, crazy, or all of them. And so to grasp what this is all about and how it all fits together, demanding from the start is a blank sheet of paper in terms of preconceived idea, so that we let the information be our guide rather than preconceived idea, which is from the normal. And we have the created the so-called public education system. It created and owns the sources of communication, the great majority of them anyway. In other words, it controls the sources from which people form their perceptions to grasp a perception of normality. So first of all, that has to go. Ladies and gentlemen, the preconceived normal has to go. Just let the information be a guide. And so to put this into perspective and to explain why Satanism and pedophilia are fundamentally connected, we have to start to realize that this global network, which I call the global cult, which is the generator and the orchestrator of this global pedophilia and satanic network, it is not the origin of human control. It is the player out of that control. It is the servant of that control. The origin of it is not in this dimension of reality, which is merely a band of frequency. That's all it is. If people realize, as I said in our other chat, if people realized just how little they can actually see, they'd be staggered. We can only see something called visible light, which is so tiny, it's ridiculous. The rest of infinity exists in the same space, but we can't access it visually because this biological computer, as I call it, will only literally decode a certain tiny band of frequency. So in the same space that we are experiencing are other dimensions of reality. And there's one very close to this one, but outside of visible light, called the astral frequency. And that's where the origin of human control is coming from. Now, to again grasp why, we have to realize that to this non-human force, this astral dimension force, humans are a source of energetic sustenance. Every time we think, every time we feel emotion, we are generating a frequency. This is well known in mainstream science. We're generating energy. We can't see it because it's outside of visible light, but we can feel it. You know, we talk about good vibes, bad vibes, all horrible vibes. That's because we're feeling the frequencies, but we're not seeing the frequencies. They're outside visible light. And those frequencies are actually an astral phenomenon. Every time we feel emotion and we think in various ways, we are putting this energy, this frequency into that astral dimension. Now, by their very nature, and demonic is a very good term, by their very nature, this demonic force in this astral dimension is in a low frequency state. It's in a higher frequency state than we are, because this human realm is so unbelievably energetically dense, it's unbelievable. But they are in themselves a low vibrational state, and therefore, if they're going to absorb human energy, it has to be within the band of frequency that they're operating on. And it turns out that frequency band relates to what you might call low vibrational human emotion and thought. In other words, the emotions of fear, of anxiety, of depression, of hatred, of regret, of resentment, of conflict, of war, all these things generate or trigger people to generate these low vibrational frequencies. So first of all, there is no benefit whatsoever in this astral force of entities, which are talked about throughout human history. To have a human world that is based on love, on joy, on peace, on harmony, on balance. None, because that's not the frequency they absorb. So when you had the Morpheus character in the Matrix hold that battery up and say the Matrix, which is this is a simulated reality created by this astral force, held up the battery and said the Matrix is a computer-generated dream world built to turn humans into one of these. It was a very profound truth in an apparently fictional movie. We are an energy source, but only if we're in a low vibrational state. So you have this astral force, these entities, these demonic entities, and they have in service to them within the human reality this global cult of secret societies, which are fiercely compartmentalized, so most people in them haven't got a clue what's really going on. It's the core I'm talking about. And the role of this global cult is to generate events and happenings in the human realm that are going to trigger in human response to these events that low vibrational energy. So if you look at the world, it's a generator of that low vibrational energy all the time in many and various ways, whether it's this background anxiety that people feel and worry about the future, or whether it's an outright war which generates phenomenal amounts obviously of this energy. This is a loosh farm, as I call it in my book, the roadmap. It's a loosh farm, and loosh is the word that's given to this low vibrational energy. So if we then look at the connection between pedophilia and Satanism, and why it's so prevalent, and why this global cult has literally a global network, a satanic pedophile network, of which the Epstein network was a part.
Cover not making a sound for at least 7 to 10 minutes, since I was actually AFK, and what happened was this guy just ran directly towards me and basically killed me through bushes. Now let's check his stats, and I just want to show you an example of somebody who's clearly cheating. First of all, we have just a regular account, which doesn't actually say that he's cheating, because I also have a regular playing account. I'm not playing on Edge of Darkness or any other type of accounts. But still, if we take a look at the online, this is the timer that shows how old an account is, right? So this is 31 hours, and he somehow managed to have 75% of survival rate. That is something that only really high tier players have, and kill death ratio is 19.29. Like the regular kill death ratio, I would say, is from 6 to 8, and to have 19.29 is just off the roof, as you can see right here. So tell me, guys, what do you think about this? What have you guys seen that made you think about, rethink, or report somebody? Because I have to say that at the beginning of the wipe, I haven't seen so many blatant cheaters, but right now there is like plentiful of them. I don't know what made them to cheat more, as in difference of um,
It's to do with energy, and it's to do with this low vibrational energy we call loosh. So, this is what I put together over the years in the books, over now 36 years of full-time research. So, as I mentioned in the chat we had, the longer chat we had, I started to realize when I was putting this global cult together in the early 1990s and how it worked, and how the people in positions of power, like presidents and prime ministers, were just here today, gone tomorrow, assets of this cult. And many of which didn't even know the cult existed. But the cult itself is always there. I started to realize that major players in the public arena that were playing the role of advancing the agenda of this cult to more and more centralization of power and human control, they were involved in satanic ritual. And you go, what? Why? And then you realize that in the ancient world, they were doing openly human sacrifice rituals to the gods. The gods? Who are the gods? Who are the gods through the ages that these rituals are done to? Still.
no pâine! Suca, iobnule, lasă-mă! Цепанул меня! Ты, сука, пидоры, меня покоцали, блядь! Ой, ебать! Как вы поняли, двинуть нахуй! Нет никого.
Как же заебало все.
Still done too. These non-human entities in the astral dimension that interpenetrate this one. You had these ancients doing these rituals, and they were sacrificing people. And often you hear the term about sacrificing young virgins to the gods. Well, young virgins is code for children, kids, and there's a reason for that I'll come to. And what is happening in a ritual, whether it's the ancient openly done ritual or the secretly done now, as humanity reached a point of maturity where it weren't having their open rituals anymore, whatever time you're talking about, the question is, what is the gift to the gods that these rituals, these sacrifice rituals are doing? And so you then realize that it comes down to this loosh, this low vibrational energy, because the rituals, and I've been given chapter and verse by this by people who've taken part over the years, some against their will, some who've seen the light eventually, that these rituals are designed specifically to generate maximum terror in the victim. And what terror does, or what terror is a phenomenally powerful low vibrational energy, which these entities feed off. And as I said in our chat, you can look at someone and you can see from their facial expression and their body language that they're in an emotional state, terror, whatever, but you can't see the energy that they're giving off as a result of that, very powerful energy of terror, because it's going into this astral dimension. And they're feeding off it. These entities are feeding off it. That's the gift to the gods. And then the Satanists within the human dimension who are orchestrating the ritual, they then drink the blood of the victim, and it's by that time laced with a very powerful adrenaline generated by the energy of terror, and it gives them a high. It gives them it's like a drug. It's like an elixir to them. And then you look at pedophilia. That's adrenochrome, by the way, that people talk about. And then you look at pedophilia. Now, I've been given chapter and verse on this over the years. I've talked not only to people in the Western world about this, I've talked to shamans in different parts of the world as well that carry the ancient knowledge. And there's this tremendous synchronicity of explanation between the two. First of all, there's a particular energy that these entities want, and it's the energy of children before puberty. We look at puberty as a hormonal chemical change, but actually what's happening is there's a vibrational change, there's a frequency change in the energy field of the children, and that expresses itself in the so-called physical world as a chemical hormonal change at puberty. They want that energy overwhelmingly before that happens, if possible. And so pedophiles are basically possessed people. Throughout human history, there has been this constant story, this theme of possession. Well, what is that? We have a physical body. What we call it physical. It's not really, but that's another story. We have this physical body because it allows us to interact with this frequency we call human. As I said in the other chat, I can pick up those spectacles because I have a vehicle that is resonating within the same frequency band as the spectacles, therefore I can interact with it. My consciousness, which is a field of energy awareness that overrides the body, that is vibrating so fast, I couldn't possibly interact with this dimension and pick those glasses up. So we have this vehicle. But that electromagnetic field that you might call the mind or consciousness can be, there can be a connection made between these astral entities and that human electromagnetic field. Some people call it the auric field, whatever. And through that electromagnetic connection, then the perceptions of the possessed person can be controlled. And so this whole idea of possession is to connect with the electromagnetic field of human and take control of perceptions and behavior. And you know, when you see these satanic themes where literally someone's face changes into some grotesque entity.
Right, people report seeing the facial shape-shifting.
I've seen it. I've
Right.
seen it. I've seen it. It's real. Now the question is, what's going on? It can be very simply explained. Most possession, it connects powerfully with the person when it wants to impose itself on the behavior of that person. Otherwise, it's one step back. And this is why you can talk to people and they say, oh, I met so-and-so who I know is a Satanist. Oh, he's a nice chap. He's very, very pleasant. Yeah, okay. But you want to see him when the entity comes in. So you've got this like schizophrenia in personality between when the entity imposes itself and when it takes a step back, and because it doesn't really have to control behavior in the intermediate time. And so you can have possession where the entity is influencing the perception through the subconscious overwhelmingly of the target person, but it doesn't reach the point where this facial change takes place. However, what the entity is a field of information that relates to how that entity looks and what that entity is. And what happens when the possession gets really, really powerful and intense is that so much of the entity's information is poured into the possessed entity's field that the possessed entity's field starts to reflect the entity. At which point the facial expressions and the facial look of the possessed person starts to change in line with the infused information from the entity. Thus you have this exorcist type look of people and you think, oh my God, their face is changing. I've seen it, it's real. And so the pedophile is basically a possessed entity, and the charge, the urge to have sex with children is infused by these entities. It might be that.
Do they have agency? David, do they have agency?
Say again?
Sorry, I was going to say, do they have agency? I mean, because what I'm trying to understand too at these parties, these events, these Epstein parties and events, and you saw the event that was happening in Mexico where the woman runs out. We've shown the video where she says they're eating humans. They're eating humans, and then she disappears afterwards. Do they have agency? Like, if they're a part of this process, are they giving?
Can they get out of it?
Yeah, are they giving themselves willingly to it? Do they have what sort of mechanism is happening there?
Well, if I may follow up on that, because we see how these low vibrational vessels are finding each other, looking out in email who's game to do this bad stuff. But we do have an archetype. We have Norm Finkelstein, who tells them all to F off. So it seems like they put out their feelers and this vibration comes together if there's already a weakness. What do you think of that?
Like Elon Musk was trying to get to the island. He's like, can I come, please? Can I get there? I want to go there. I want to go to the island. I want to go to the island.
All of the above, basically. But if you think about it, these are low vibrational entities. And if you're in a high vibrational state, if you're full of love and joy and peace and harmony, they can't attach to you because your frequency is incompatible with theirs. Your perceptual frequency, what I call the electromagnetic field, it's incompatible. What they want is to pull you in to low bizarre secret society rituals. But what these rituals are, and I've talked to some Freemasons and said, what's all this ritual about that you do? Oh, I've got a clue. It's just lost in the mist of antiquity. Well, actually, it's not. But you think it is, because most Freemasons haven't got a clue what's actually going on. But these rituals are locking you in. They are tuning you in to these entities, this non-human force. And then what happens? And my God, just look around the world at people who are running this cult. They start to reflect the mentality of these entities. They basically become vehicles for them. So in terms of pedophilia, and I've been given chapter and verse by this over the years in different parts of the world. When the child is being abused, the overseeing entity that's possessing the pedophile is drawing the energy of the child off and absorbing it. I remember talking to a shaman in South Africa who was, and others have said the same in different parts of the world, that some of these children, these abused children, their energy is basically so absorbed, so drawn off, that only just enough to survive is remaining. You know, there was a Central American shaman who talked about this wonderful energetic field that children have and how these entities draw it off. And so the pedophile is the vehicle. It's the conduit for this energy to be drawn off, which is how pedophilia and Satanism connect. It's all to do with these entities feeding off human energy. And so you've got to go to this level, this astral level, because at that level, everything connects. At this level, within the human world, yes, these cultists can fight among themselves. Yes, they can battle to get up the top of the greasy pole instead of their mate who's also part of it. All this goes on. But if you go to that level, that astral level where it's being orchestrated from, suddenly the left in politics and the right in politics become the same. Islam and other religions and Hinduism and all these different religions, they all become the same religion. Because what do religions do? What does political ideology do if both are without question and without, if they're rigid in their belief and immovable? They create a belief system that limits where people will go. They create their own normal within the societal normal. So you have an Islamic normal, you have a Christian normal, you have a Hindu normal, you have a Jewish normal. And these normals are smaller than even the Overton window of society in general. What you're doing is you're limiting their perception. You're holding them in basically boxes of the mind. And so they're all serving they're all serving the goal and the agenda of these entities. And once you have these rigid belief systems, different ones, political, religious, whatever, cultural, you've got the perfect environment to play them off against each other. So your target population is fighting among itself, which divides and rules, so they don't focus on you, it's controlling it all. And also, what are they producing in their fight and their cussing and their conflict with each other? Loosh, low vibrational, emotional and mental energies. So to understand what's going on, you have to go here. You have to go here, and most people won't go there because they don't think there is a there.
Right.
And that's what perceptual control has done.
When you see the uniparty, when you see these boxes, as you describe it, even being narrower than the Overton window, and you see this battling back and forth and giving cover for Trump and giving cover for Elon Musk or whatever it is, it's all just operating within this sort of narrow band. And it's so much bigger than all of these people.
Yeah, all of it. And the other thing about the Epstein files, the drop that's just happened, and the previous one come to that, is that it shows how this global cult works in terms of connecting in the public arena, apparently unconnected. So you have documents, emails, whatever, that connect Epstein to Putin. But he's also connected to the CIA, he's also connected to Mossad, he's also connected to Trump. He's also connected to endless other world leaders and former world leaders. And he's connected into the AI oligarchy, which is massively relevant to current events. And how many people would realize that Epstein was manipulating on that level and interacting at that level? But Epstein was just one guy. This is how it all works. Right. They're all connected in the end. There's a Jewish area of Judaism called Chabad Lubavitch, and that connects into Putin, connects into Zelensky, connects into Trump, connects into Lutnick, connects into Jared Kushner, connects into Netanyahu. There are these networks everywhere, not just Jewish ones. No, not at all, not just Jewish ones, but they seem to be very prominent at the moment, to say the least, and back through history. But this cult is encompassing all these different belief systems. Just that some are more dominant than others. But there are these networks which connect people that in the public arena are unconnected. So you look in Britain, you look at Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister. Well, his Svengali is Tony Blair. And Tony Blair is owned by Larry Ellison, who funds him, who's massively active in AI in the United States and is the biggest private funder of the IDF in Israel. And who was appointed US ambassador by Starmer? A guy who is was a very close associate of Epstein, and has just now resigned from the British Labour Party of Keir Starmer because of his Epstein connections. And this same guy was the Svengali again of Tony Blair, who was the spin doctor that brought him to power as Prime Minister. So you see these connections everywhere because there is
Стрелять не хотим, мы так наблюдаем. Вон он, сука!
the public face, everything's unconnected, everything's random. And then there's the real level where everything is connected.
Well, don't you hate when people say, I told you so? Yeah, that's me, actually, because I did tell you. Sorry, but I told you that gold and silver were going to reap the benefits of excessive money printing, the Fed just printing money like crazy, overvalued markets, global unrest. It's here. It's happened. Gold and silver have both soared to all-time highs. So I hope you called our friends at Lear Capital and you bought some. If you didn't, trust me, it's not too late. Experts are predicting even higher prices ahead. And they get it. They know what's coming. Isn't it time, folks? Get yourself some gold and silver today. Call the best in the business. I personally use them. So does Natalie. We both do. And our kids do as well in their IRAs. Lear Capital, it's a free phone call. There's no obligation to purchase, just education information on protecting and growing your wealth with gold and silver. I'm sure there are many of you that have called and haven't purchased yet for whatever reason. Don't make the same mistake twice. Now is the time to get some gold shipped directly to you or shift some dollars in your retirement accounts over to physical gold and silver. It's easy to do. Natalie and I have done it for both, and I've been extremely satisfied with Lear's knowledge, their service, their prices. I urge you to call today and learn more. Call them, 1-800-613-3557, or go to learredacted.com, and you can receive up to $20,000 in free bonus medals with a qualified purchase.
Early onset dementia and Alzheimer's are on the rise. Reports show a 373% increase in diagnosis between young people, even 30 to 44 years old. 311 increase in people 45 to 54. So when doctors are treating these brain diseases, they focus on medicating the brain, addressing the symptoms, but instead they should also look at toxic proteins that build up in the brain. Like much of the body, many brain tissues track back to the brain issues track back to gut microbiome. That's why we'd like to tell you about Kimchi One, because it is a supplement that contains over 900 probiotic strains. Studies show that its bioactive compounds help reduce inflammation, protect brain cells, and even improve memory and cognitive function by preventing amyloid beta plaque buildup, which, if you've studied Alzheimer's, you know is indicative of Alzheimer's. So that's why Brightcore created Kimchi One. Try it out for yourself. You can get an exclusive offer by either clicking our link or going to mybrightcore.com/redacted. Again, that's mybrightcore.com/redacted. Use the code redacted and you'll get 25% off. You'll be so happy that you did. Again, it's the benefits of kimchi, but you don't have to eat it if you're not quite used to it. mybrightcore.com/redacted. So if I may just see if I'm understanding the picture you're painting, is that these evil demonic forces that are driving this human behavior is a part of a spectrum. So as we see, we're like, why does Epstein love war so much? Why does he want to provide weapons to a murderous government? Why does he want to have these demonic pedophilia rituals? It's all the same, because war you can feed on souls in the same way as pedophilia. So that behavior is just expansive. Do I understand correctly?
Yeah, and by the way, the guy I was talking about just now,
Lord.
his name Lord Mandelson.
I was going to say Lord,
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
I couldn't remember his last name, Lord, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lord Mandelson. Yeah, they're trying to get him to drop the Lord and be thrown out of the House of Lords now. But you know, what you've just described is that's the kind of foundation of the way
Смотри-ка, кто нарисовался.
has its Epstein. So you had the Epstein.
Давай сюда. Давай сюда. Я слышал, что у всех ваших связь с руководством пропала. Похоже, кто-то сразу решил свой профиль поменять. А то я не знаю. На войне дисциплина нужна серьезная. И порядок в голове. Вот ты, например, связи налаживаешь, да в городе обустраиваешься. Если херней заниматься не будешь и репутацию себе доработаешь, далеко пойдешь. Маршрут тебе мои ребята подскажут. А дальше уже сам. Резерв — опасное место. Неспокойное. Нет, пока ничего. Ну-ну.
One section of it was I met a lady who was a close friend of Princess Diana for 9 years. I've still got our chat on one of those reel-to-reel kind of audio tapes. And she told me a load of things about the British royal family, which had been told to her by Diana, and she's had other sources as well. But she told me about this guy, Jimmy Savile, and how he was a paedophile and was in the heart of the British royal family, and how Prince Charles, then Prince Charles, now King Charles, had used Savile, this disc jockey, as a go-between with Diana during their marriage breakup. Bizarre, you would think.
Right.
Savile became a very, very close friend of Prince Philip before they had a big fallout, and virtually to his death, if not to his death, was a close friend of Prince Charles, now King Charles. So I started to do kind of research into this guy, and what you find, by his own admission, is that he was invited into the bosom, the inner circle of the British royal family by a guy called Lord Mountbatten. Lord Mountbatten was a known paedophile. In fact, there are FBI files on him to that effect. And so this paedophile, Lord Mountbatten, who was a close associate of the Queen, invites this paedophile, Jimmy Savile, into the bosom of the inner circle of the royal family, and he stayed there pretty much towards for much of the rest of his life. And then, after he died in 2011, a year later, there was a television documentary by independent television here. It's not really independent, but it was on that occasion, thank goodness. And it exposed Savile as a mega paedophile. I mean, historic levels of paedophilia. And it was a big furore and what have you. But the royal family were never questioned on it. Hold on a minute. This Jimmy Savile's been in your inner circle since the 60s. You didn't know what he was? Well, of course he was in there because they did know what he was. Because although his paedophilia and indeed his Satanism came out as more and more women came forward to describe how Savile had abused them as kids, what didn't come out, but I established and I put it in my books, is that he was a procurer of children for the rich and famous. Not only was a paedophile himself, he was procuring kids for the rich and famous, including people like the British Prime Minister Ted Heath, Edward Heath. Edward Heath was the man who took Britain into the what became the European Union, the common market at the time in the early 70s. And he was Prime Minister for a time. And in The Biggest Secret, which came out in 1998, when he was still a member of Parliament, I named him as a paedophile Satanist. And in the week of publication, a journalist, or passes for one, contacted him and read the passage to him. I mean, he's an MP. He's extremely rich. He could have taken that book out, but he would have to go to court to do it. And all he said was, David Icke must be mad. And that was the end of it. I never heard another thing. 17 years later, when various people came forward making accusations about Heath as a paedophile, Wiltshire police in England did an investigation. He was dead by then. And decreed that if he was still alive, he would definitely be brought in for questioning. There was enough evidence to bring him in for questioning on these allegations 17 years later. And I'll tell you something about Ted Heath, right? I was in television. I finished in 1990 when I had my head explosion, and I was launched into this life for the last 36 years. But during the late 1980s, I was also a national spokesman for the British Green Party. It didn't last long because I saw politics from the inside, and I thought, I'm out of here. But anyway, different rosette, same techniques, same nonsense. Anyway, as a result of, there was a European election, I think it was in 1989, and the Green Party has never done very well. They're all very, very small votes and really no mentions in the media at all, really. But during 1998 and into 1989, suddenly the support for the Green Party started to grow and grow and grow, and it was proposed in the polls, or said in the polls, that the Green Party was going to do extremely well in the European elections of 1989. And so I was invited by Sky News to go to their headquarters and comment live on the show as the election results were coming in. Okay, so I turn up, and I'm met by this lady at the door, and she says, "Oh, I'll take you into makeup." So she takes me into makeup, and when I went into the makeup room, the door was open there, and I walked in, and to me, the place was empty. And she said to me, "There'll be someone coming to see you in a minute." So I go and sit down, and I'm looking at the mirror thing, and then something caught my eye to my right. Now, let me emphasize, at this point, I had no idea of any of this stuff that we're talking about now. None of it. That started about a year later. So something caught my eye, and I looked across, and sitting behind the doors, why I couldn't see him, was Ted Heath, then the former Prime Minister of Britain, who'd just been interviewed on the live show and was waiting to have his makeup taken off. So I, being a friendly bloke, I said, "All right, mate, couldn't stand his politics, but all right, mate, yeah, how you doing?" And what happened next, I couldn't explain, but I could now. He's looking at the mirror when I said hello, and he sort of turned in the chair, and he looked at me, never said a word, not a word was spoken this entire time. And he looks at me, kind of an inquisitive look on his face, like, what's this? That kind of look. And then his eyes started at the top of my head, and then they went down to my feet, and then went back again. And then he turned and looked back at the mirror, never said a bloody word. Now, what happened while what I would call the scanning was taking place? The entirety of his eyes, including the whites, turned jet black. Jet black. And I'm looking at this, and I've described it as...
это вы, молодой человек.
It was like, when you...
С вами приятно иметь.
You're having a conversation with people, you have eye contact. There's eye contact between you.
Right.
But he had no bloody eyes, they were black holes. And so it was like looking, I would say now, like looking through his eyes into another dimension. And what happened later was I was in America. It was 1996. And in a 15-day period, I met 12 different people in different cities, because I was talking to nobody, but I was traveling and talking every day, who told me how they'd seen a human, apparently a human, turn into a reptilian figure and then go back again. And you're like, what? But what you don't do is just dismiss it unless you know it's nonsense. You think, oh, I'll wait and see if other information comes on this. And it did, massively. Anyway, I had an appointment after I came back from America to meet a lady who said that she was the former wife of a guy who was the steward of an area in the west of London called Burnham Beeches. It's an area of copse and clearings and woods, and it's owned by the City of London. And anyone who does research into the City of London, you know what an absolutely, not only financial centre that is, but an unbelievable satanic centre that is. I mean,
Yes.
horrific. I talked about all that in the books over the years. So I was meeting this lady who was going to tell me about her time with this guy when he was basically organizing Satanism and satanic rituals in those woods. So anyway, we have the chat and I'm writing it all down and all that stuff. And I had a cup of tea. I just finished my tea, and I said, "Well, thanks ever so much for talking to me. That's kind of incredible." I said, "I've got to just gonna digest all that." And I put my tea down, and I turned, and as I turned, I said, "I'm having some strange experiences recently." I said, "I keep meeting people who say they've seen people turn into reptiles," and I was turning away, and all I heard was behind me, and I turned back. And she's going. She says, "Oh my God, I wasn't going to tell you that bit." She said, "I thought even you'd think I was mad." And she told me of experiences she had in that wood of reptilian type figures. But what she told me, there's this major experience, is that she was out one night walking. It was dark, and she saw a light through the trees, and she crept up and looked through the trees at this light. She said, and this woman knew nothing about my experience with Ted Heath, nothing whatsoever. She said, and I saw a satanic circle, and they were in the robes. And she said, it was led by Ted Heath.
Oh.
Here we go, right? And she said next to him was actually his Chancellor of the Exchequer when he was Prime Minister, called Anthony Barber. And then there were these other people in the circle, in the robes. And she said, I was, first of all, I couldn't believe it, but I'm watching. She said, and then there came a point where suddenly Heath transforms into a reptilian figure and grows about 2 feet. Now, this, when they shapeshift, they grow about a foot, 2 foot, is such a common theme all over the world that I've been told by so many people that's what happens in a shapeshift. They basically grow. And she said that then Heath starts talking. She said, like the old transatlantic phone calls where there's gaps between the words. People have to be of a certain age to remember the transatlantic phone calls and what they were like. And she said, what shocked me more than anything is that when it happened, nobody in the rest of the circle reacted, as if it was the most natural thing in the world and they've experienced it many, many, many times. And it turns out that paedophile procurer of children for the rich and famous, Jimmy Savile, inner circle member of the British royal family, was a great mate and associate of Ted Heath. Who was he also a great friend of? Margaret Thatcher. And the Margaret Thatcher cabinet in the 1990s, there were lots of revelations about the paedophilic nature of some members of her cabinet, significant members of her cabinet. And of course, the lid was put on because you've got the cult that is orchestrating the paedophilia and orchestrating the Satanism, but it's also controlling the political and administrative levels. It's also controlling the media, and therefore it not only has the ability to orchestrate what happens, it has the ability to cover it up and make sure it never comes out. And so what you have is the media will ridicule, or it will dismiss, or it won't even bother reporting or investigating these things. And so many times I've come across people, politicians and such, who have sought to follow up reports of satanic activity and paedophile activity in their area of influence, who've had it shut down and have it shut down by the police. Now, this is another point. It's well known now, and has been for a long time, that the police knew what Savile was doing. They knew that he was a mega paedophile, but he was never collared for it. Never collared for it because of his connections. So you had this guy who was a disc jockey in the 60s, who was allowed to be a mega paedophile and procurer of children for the rich and famous right to the end of his life. Long after his media career ended, he had houses all over the place and massive cars and Bentleys with no perceivable, seeable source of income, because he was procuring children for the rich and famous. But the police never touched him. Now, there is a special branch in the police. There is the Royal Protection Unit in the police that directly interact with the British royal family. They would have known what the police knew of what Savile was doing. You think the royal family didn't know? Of course they knew. And so, as these connections constantly are able to be made, you have the Epstein connection to Prince Andrew, massive, and you then have Prince Charles, who's now taken the title of Prince Andrew away in a damage limitation exercise. Maybe there'll be more sanctions as a result of this, the latest Epstein drop. And he's like, oh no, Prince Andrew is bringing terrible things on the British royal family.
Right.
He's been dispatched to a long way from London now, to a house in the middle of bloody nowhere in Norfolk, to try to get him out of the public eye. He doesn't do royal events anymore. He hasn't done for a long time because he was ostracized. But the guy doing the ostracizing was a close mate of Jimmy Savile.
Right, King Charles.
All those years, decades.
Right.
Well, can I ask you, David, you saw...
Known in the public arena, and the pictures exist. Now, the guy who brought him into the inner circle of the British royal family, Lord Mountbatten, who was a close associate of Jimmy Savile, hence he brought him in, he's known as the mentor of Prince Philip and Prince Charles. So it all kind of connects, and no media organization asked the royal families, the royal family, the obvious question: what is this paedophile doing in your inner bosom since the 1960s? One other thing, finally, on Savile. This lady, this friend of Diana, told me that Savile was into the paedophilia on a mega scale. Yeah, it turned out to be true. She told me that he was into Satanism, turned out to be true. And she also told me that he was into necrophilia. He likes sex with dead bodies. Now, Jimmy Savile was famous in Britain for doing charity work. It was one of his fronts. And one of the things he did was volunteer, ongoing over a long period of time, as a porter in a hospital in Leeds in the north of England. Why? Well, we now know it gave him access to the mortuary.
Oh.
So
Salutări din însorita zonă rurală din vestul Keniei. Din nou, după un autocar absolut năucitor toată noaptea, după multe ore, am ajuns aici foarte, foarte devreme, dimineața, încă era întuneric, și m-am cazat într-un sat absolut necunoscut, aproape de granița cu Uganda. Aceasta este nici măcar un hotel, se numește guest house, un fel de casă de oaspeți. Practic, cel mai luxos loc în care poți sta în acest sat. Și o să vă spun imediat de ce sunt aici, însă mai întâi vreau să vă arăt camera unde stau eu pentru aproximativ $20 în acest magnific guest house. Oh my god, what are you doing in my bed?
Oh my god, this is insane.
Like, I didn't know the guest houses here come with accompaniment.
Yeah.
Yeah?
This village.
That's how it is, like, it's a special village, right?
Yeah, it is.
Damn, I'm so lucky.
No, I'm so happy to see you guys, man.
I'm also very happy to see you, jungle woman.
Yeah, you're in my element right now.
Mm.
Yeah.
Deci așa aici, în vestul Keniei, primești cameră cu tot, cu femeie, soție, ce vrei tu. Și cum am zis, ne aflăm pentru prima dată anul acesta în zona rurală din Kenya. Vom merge să explorăm un sat absolut necunoscut, al cărui nume nici nu pot să pronunț. O să veți afla mai multe în curând. So, are you ready to explore? Yes?
Yes.
Are you gonna show me around?
Yeah, I'm gonna show you around my village where I grew up and this place.
So you're actually from this village?
Yeah.
Wow, such a coincidence. Wow.
Yeah. I'm really excited to show you around.
Okay, let's go then.
Okay. Oh my god, like all the guys from my village, like the men who drive the bicycle, when they see you, they'll be like, wow, surprising. Oh, that sleep was so good.
You really grew up here?
Yeah.
All your life?
So let me tell you a fact about this place.
Yeah.
You see this farm, it was owned by the colonialists, like the British people. The chief of the British used to stay here. So when he went away, they inherited...
When was this? In the colonial times?
Yeah. So they inherited this farm. So they're the ones who actually sold us our farm.
Но шкура цела, уже неплохо. Сука, засрал мне все штаны! Армани, бля, сука, ты чё? Чё тут кто? Нет кого, чё?
Ага.
Yeah. So you took me to the colonial place to sleep where I belong, to the colonialists.
My colonialists,
Yeah,
you can colonize me.
yeah, that's why I came here. To take what's mine.
Right,
Man came to take what's mine.
Yeah. Claim it. No, I'm part Ugandan.
Yeah, really.
Nah, I'm joking.
That's where the big Nash comes from.
Yeah, have you seen it?
I've seen it.
Yeah. You guys.
It's coming from Uganda.
Yeah, but like some Kenyan girls have nyash too. Like me.
Yeah.
No, Luya girls. I'm Luya.
I've heard about that, yes.
Yeah. No. I wanted to say something inappropriate.
Hey.
You've seen it.
I've seen it, yes.
And experienced it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clock it, guys.
Tocmai am văzut că la ultimul video 75% dintre voi nu sunteți abonați. Așa că nu uitați să apăsați pe butonul de abonare și să porniți toate notificările.
Yeah.
Do the farm work?
No, I don't do farm work.
What do you do?
Maybe just go pick fruits in the garden. I don't like doing
wait.
farm work.
Can't wait to see you
Живем, пацаны!
being a fruit picker.
Yeah. It's like, oh,
My fruit
have you
picker.
shown them? This is the coffee.
I would never know it's coffee. Yeah.
No, actually, most people here have like huge farms.
So this is a
people-
this is a rich village.
Kinda.
Developed. And what do you think about seeing me in your village?
Oh my god, guys. I'm so happy. Like, I was so surprised to see him, and I was so happy. And like, I just had tummy flutters.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah, I was really, really excited.
Did you think I was going to come?
No. You know, you were actually supposed to come earlier, and you didn't. And I thought you'd probably not come anymore. So are you nervous to meet my dad?
Wait, so we're going to meet your dad?
You don't plan to? You want
No,
to
I'm
meet?
asking you, what are we going to do? What's the plan for today?
So, we have dinner, right?
Yeah.
And I can still show you around the village, like around my home.
So your whole family will be there.
Nah, unfortunately. Yeah, so it will just be you, me. I'm the last one in my home. So I'm really like a brat. Am I a brat?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
No,
The biggest.
no, I'm never a brat. Like, I've never been a brat to you though. I'm such a good girl. Yeah, so it's just gonna be me, my mom, my dad. Oh, there is a cousin.
So when we go to your parents,
yeah.
we will need to bring something?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the tradition here.
yeah.
Is this like holiday tradition or like all the time?
No, all the time. Because like you're a guy.
Yeah. So the guy has to bring something.
Yeah, and you're a visitor.
So what should I do?
It's just some things like mostly it's just random shopping, house shopping, like cooking oil, baking flour. That so we're supposed.
Good, how are you?
Hi, come say hi.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, we can go.
How are you?
What's your name? Huh? Mika.
Okay.
And you? Unaitwa nani? Zadia. Oh. Huh? Azaria.
So we need to go to some supermarket.
Yeah. If
And then we have...
we can still go tomorrow if you want.
No, let's do it now.
Let's
I don't want to show up to your parents' house unprepared.
Okay. Oh my god. You're such a you're making me blush. He's such a gentleman.
We need to go to nearest town. There's no supermarket here.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a really remote village with no supermarket.
No, there's just shops.
Okay. Okay, let's get some transportation. Așa cum suntem pe marginea drumului, aici în sat, așteptăm un fel de transport, matatul, să ne ducem în cel mai apropiat oraș, care se află la vreo 15 km. The street looks good though.
Yeah. Our government is a good government. No, not the Ruto government. Nah, the Kibaki government was the one that was in charge of constructing this way.
Do we need to hitchhike, do like this, to random cars?
Yeah.
You want to? You can show some leg, so they can stop.
Should they try?
Yes.
Will
Try.
they? Do you
Try.
think they will?
Yeah.
Should they try stop?
Yeah.
Oh my. Oh, I forgot to try.
Yeah. Show the leg next time. Maybe that was missing. Like, should I make a sign? Yeah. Let's see.
Are you okay like sitting anywhere?
You'll sit in my lap.
Where are you heading to?
To Kitale.
How?
To Kitale.
How much?
Do you?
Is there space? Are you willing to sit on the...
Son, somebody to sit here. And one
No,
here.
I'm sitting.
Yes. Then you sit in the floor.
I know. Feel. What?
Is it still rolling?
It's around.
Are you comfortable?
Yeah, I will have a small ass. I will take so much space.
Unlike me,
Unlike you, yeah.
I have a big dash. This girl has a flash on me. And then
I don't get motivated. I'm just disciplined.
yeah. Okay, let's go. We
Which
can
way?
walk.
Ok. Ca și am ajuns în minunatul orășel numit Kitale, din vestul Keniei, cel mai aproape loc de unde putem găsi un supermarket și unde putem cumpăra chestii pentru familia ei. How are you? The way people are staring at me here,
Yeah.
it's just wild, like I've never seen it before.
Because they've never seen any white guy. When I was out partying here on Christmas, no, on 26th with my girlfriends and my sisters. I went out of the club to get some smokies. I was out getting a smoky, some street kids at night.
Yeah.
It was around 2 a.m.
Yeah.
They tried attacking me
Really?
and stealing from me.
Did they want to steal your smoky?
Not my smoky, my phone.
Ah,
And they tried like, I shouldn't say this on camera.
say it.
They tried touching my boobs and like removing my shorts because I had like a tiny short.
How old were they?
They were young kids. And I just started like panicking and I was so drunk. I was actually here. So I was like,
Forbes Lounge. Everybody's
dead.
yes.
Oh my god. They're like, is that right, guy?
Mm.
Or is he an albino? So they have to like look twice. Because like, can you imagine if I get knocked over in my hometown? Then you go to my dad's home.
No, no.
He'll be like,
Who is that?
you're the reason why.
Hello, how are you? Hey, hey, how are you? Oh. Hello, how are you?
You're fine.
How are you?
But Kenya, okay.
I know.
Fight for us.
Of course.
Those are the guys who attacked me.
Really?
But like, I'm still the one who's making dinner.
Safi, Safi.
Oh, he said that you're not a white man because you said sassy. I'm showing you the dark.
You're taking me in the dark alleys.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the barber. Street barber. You going to Nairobi? No, I'm staying here tonight.
How are you, brother?
Oh,
You
very
stay
good.
there?
Yeah, I'm staying here.
Thank you, thank
Okay,
you.
thank
Why
you.
don't we take a photo?
Okay, I'm taking a photo.
No.
You're so popular. Okay, let's go to.
Okay. They wanted to take me to Nairobi. But I'm like, no, I'm staying here in Kitale with this girl here. Yes.
Have you ever had this stuff? Let me go buy some. It's called skaringuru.
Karinguru.
Yeah.
What's that?
From sugar.
From sugar.
Ah, okay, okay.
Rejected.
Like this?
This one.
Naturally made from concentrated sugar cane. Okay.
Yeah.
Concentrated sugar cane.
The liquor.
Okay. Ah, they make it liquor. Liquor from this.
This.
What's from which type of liquor? Whiskey. Changa. Changa, okay. I know Changa. I'm a big fan.
Don't say that in front of my mom. Yeah. Yaku nini kadogo tununue. Oh, ni wholesale. He says that you should buy all of these.
Small piece.
Yeah, small piece.
10.
10.
Take one small piece.
Okay, cheers.
Asante.
Cheers.
Asante.
It's so sweet, yes.
Yeah, it's so
Băi, ce dulce e. E zahăr concentrat. E și mai dulce ca zahărul ăsta.
seems like there's a lot of sugar based on here. I actually bought you a pineapple.
Oh.
It's at home. I went to the market yesterday. So I hope it's juicy.
Like you.
You know, pineapple is good for you.
Yeah.
I like pineapples too. And it makes oh my god, I can't believe these tiny things are 500 shillings. I feel like we are being overcharged.
I also feel it.
Oh my god. If I was alone, I couldn't have bought it. This is 50.
Okay.
This is 100 book. You wanna taste?
So this is only 50.
Yeah.
That's so cheap.
Yeah. So you actually don't think I can make a good politician?
No.
For real? No, for real. I can't.
You will be a good porn star.
I'll be a porn star. We should actually make an OnlyFans.
Yeah? You should make.
No, you should make.
I should make, so
And
without
then I can feature in yours.
maybe I have already.
Nah, you don't. Show me a video. I would like to watch your video.
Yeah?
Ask me.
Even with other girls? Or with you?
Yeah, I can watch other girls.
Really?
I like girls. I can try. So I'm telling you, you can make an OnlyFans, then I can feature in your OnlyFans.
Okay.
Yeah. And we can do some kinky stuff.
Yeah? Deci e o căldură aici, fraților. Nu e ca în Nairobi. Se vede că suntem aproape de Uganda. Aici se simte Africa adevărată. I'm saying how hot it is here. Especially with you next.
See how girls can fit like they have.
Yeah. That's where your genes come from.
Yeah, the good genes. Just touched my arm.
Hello, how are you? What is that? Nice honey. Okay. Do you have the honey that gives you power, manpower? You know what I'm talking about? It's like the Turkish honey.
No.
You don't have the one that gives you manpower.
No.
No, you don't have that one. This which? Da, suntem pe care să intrăm în restaurantul ei favorit de aici din Chitale. Oh, it looks quite fancy. I'm like impressed. I'm impressed.
I like pineapple, fresh pineapple, because it makes me. I always come here with my
With your boyfriend.
Nah, with my female friends. I don't have a boyfriend in Kitale. I like foreigners.
You like foreigners.
I like I like vanilla,
Vanilla.
not chocolate.
Vanilla with chocolate mix.
No, I'm chocolate, so I like vanilla.
Your pineapple juice arrived, and my popo juice.
Popo is yuck. It's the worst fruit to ever exist.
Or you can use the glass, I use bottle.
Anyways, I was all up in your mouth, so it's not a big deal.
Am intrat acum și într-un supermarket să luăm produsele. Which one?
This one is okay.
Okay.
Should I take the 2 kg?
Yeah, just take. Da, tot ce vedeți aici, în punga asta, a costat vreo 15 euro. De prețurile aici sunt la fel ca oriunde altundeva, n-aș zice că e neapărat mai ieftin sau mai scump ca în altă parte, dar e mai ieftin ca în alte țări din Africa. Negotiate hard.
I negotiate.
Yes.
How did they go? Kiungani, how much?
600. We came here with 300. With 300 when we came here. Huh? 500. Yeah, you have 500 to give me change? Yes. Okay, okay, let's go. Am întrebat de rest că ăștia nu-ți dau restul de cele mai multe ori și de aia. How are you?
Fine. That's my sister.
Yes, my wife.
I need something from you. How many cows do you have?
My wife.
How many cows do you have?
How many cows?
Yeah.
I said I paid 17 for her.
Oh my god. You know when you go in the village, they're gonna ask you.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yes. I feel a bit nervous to meet your parents.
Really? Don't be. They won't ask you.
They will ask me for cows.
Unless I tell them to.
What?
How many cows are you willing to bring?
I don't know. I don't know what's. I don't know the price structure here.
Oh my god. They'll probably say, I don't know, because I've never done it before.
So what's like normal price for a girl?
I honestly don't know. Like, you lost my dad at station. My dad is really cool.
Is it a higher price because you have a university degree?
Yeah. And I'm such a body. And I have a big dash and a beautiful face.
This is where your village starts.
Yeah. It's the shopping center. Oh my god, guys. This is the first guy ever meeting my dad, so I'm also nervous. So guys, we are finally here.
This is the gate.
Are you nervous?
The gate is so big, like it makes things even more nervous.
No, don't be nervous. No, I'm actually nervous. Hold this, I open the gate. Put it down.
Pretty big. What if nobody's home?
It's okay. We can wait for them.
Okay. Hello.
Hi. Hi, Jill. Where do you want to sit?
I mean, I don't, that's not.
You can sit there.
So nobody's home?
Mommy, ako happy. Sit there. I like sitting there when I work. So my dad is not there.
Hello. How are you?
Fine.
Hey.
Hello, this is our home.
I'm glad to be here, finally.
Welcome.
Yes.
Yeah. This is Annie.
Ari is very shy.
She's not shy, but she's not used to you.
Okay.
Oh, this is to do it. he's my good friend. Yeah.
Yes.
And he heard you were sick, so he wanted to come check up on you.
Yeah, we bought something here. Just some regular stuff. Yeah.
So much. No, I'm sick, but
Yeah.
you come from where?
Romania. Yes.
Romania.
Europe.
That is Europe.
Yes.
It's close to which country?
To
That is popular.
popular, I mean,
Hungary.
Hungary, yeah, Ukraine.
Yeah, Ukraine is popular.
You're not saying hi to the visitor. Go say hi. She's a bit shy to newcomers.
So, the compound. Oh, you wanna drive in this part?
Sure.
Diamond. Besto. That's sometimes they put grains in there. So most times I actually spend it on that bench. Yeah, when like I'm meditating and doing stuff. This is the store. It just has some random things in there. Let me go show you the guy, the farm guy. Benny, say hi to my friend.
Hello, how are you?
That is my cousin.
Cousin?
From the village.
Okay. Hello,
Hi.
how are you?
I'm fine.
This is our farm manager.
Farm manager, okay.
His name is Henry. Henry, this is my friend. Yeah, from Nairobi. Unaelewa?
No. He's from Nairobi.
He's from Nairobi.
But he originates from?
Originally.
Okay, I don't look like Nairobi?
No, obviously. Yeah?
America.
No, Europe.
Oh, Europe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So this how it's called. This is
Blackie.
and this one
Brownie.
Blackie and Brownie.
Yeah.
Do you want to go check out the farm? Oh, by then you live there. Should I ask?
What?
You live there. Anataka kwenda kuona pale penye watu local hukunywa. Inakuwa wapi? Ama we can just go by ourselves and see if we can get to that place.
Which place?
Yeah.
The drinking place. Or we just ask my mom. He doesn't want to take us.
тут нет никого! Он, бля, и бах его! Пали! Блядь, тут нас его завалили!
закройте!